they were going to step up. Any sort of hot start Oberlin was going to get out to was only going to last so long if they couldn't sustain it. And even if they tried to, Wabash is still going to come back. They're a good team. So at this point now, it's about hunkering down and focusing on each good fundamental possession, getting the best shot you can, and then defensively, you're not going to be able to take everything away. So it's picking one or two players or picking one or two shots that Wabash is trying to get, making those really hard. They're going to set ball screens at the top of the key and they want to get a dribble drive. Force come over top or fade underneath and make them pull up and shoot if they're not strong with that. So it's about putting them in their less desirable positions. But this is a good team. They're going to make shots and they're going to make good decisions. So
absolutely.
And you can see here, no Demi and no Georgie. The offense looks different. Milun with a great little hook. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar-esque. But when Demi and Georgie are in the offense, they like putting one of the two at the top of the key up here, right by the three-point line, and sort of a handoff or a ball screen with Yuki or Will or Henry. And it's a different offensive look when Milun's in there and neither of those guys are, which in some ways is a good thing. It sort of switches it up, forces Wabash to defend new things. You see Milun filling that spot a little bit, but it looks different.
Yeah, definitely. When you take your top two scorers off the floor, you got to look for creative ways to put up points, and that's what they're going to be looking for here.
And that has sort of been the squad that Oberlin struggled with, as you said, John. Top two scorers are off the court. Where's the scoring going to come from? Not even just who's going to make the shot, but who's going to take the responsibility of dribble driving? Who's going to take the responsibility of looking through, directing the offense as Demi's doing it right here? That's a lot of responsibility, and it's a lot of it's not necessarily like tangible skills. It's sort of like a mindset and a confidence. And so who's going to step up from the third or fourth or fifth positions on the Yeoman team and do that?
That's especially true on a younger team, with especially with a new coaching staff. It's a lot of new moving parts, and that's going to be the sign of where this team's going to go, is how quickly we can make those adjustments and get to the point where we're in a good spot with multiple units on the floor.
Well, I think I worked through all these technical difficulties. Apologize for that. It was just, having some roadblocks in our inaugural session, but looks like we are still bringing the positive luck to this Oberlin team. Would you guys agree?
I would absolutely agree. And right now we've got a little bit of back and forth. We've got, what's his name? I'm pulling it up. His last name's Whack, number 1 for Wabash. He scored the last two offensive possessions, 2 layups with Yuki on him. Yuki came back, hit a little dribble drive, pull up off a ball screen, and a little back and forth here. Whack drew the foul on Yuki, flexed. I think there's a little bit of chippiness in this game right now. I mean, these teams do not like each other.
I mean, take this moment to invite any viewers to ask questions during the live stream. We will be willing to answer and comment back. We can develop a dialogue. Hopefully, this will invite some Oberlin, maybe alumni or students to get involved in the game, get involved in their sporting fellow teammates.
Not used to seeing Oberlin yellow on the scoreboard. And a steal, come on. Great.
Ooh.
Oh, unfortunate. Whose ball? Oberlin.
That's unfortunate, Jackie. I feel like you got to put that one away. My limited basketball knowledge, I at least know that one's got to go in.
It's got to, even though it's contested, it's 2v2, it's a little bit, you didn't expect it coming, you got to put that one away. You got to do it. This guy's got a tattoo of a skyline. That's pretty cool. You've got to do it. Like, you just have to finish that shot. That's a momentum shifter right there. Oberlin just went up by 4. They could go up by 6 off a sort of like dumb play there from Wabash. Like, you really got to take advantage of that.
One thing I've noticed early on, guys, is the Yeomen have really done a good job of snatching rebounds. The Wabash has had a lot of these long 3-point shots, clang off the rim, and we've done a good job just hanging on to it. That's a easy way to give up easy second chance points, and we've done a good job early on. Those are, you can't give away easy buckets to really good teams, and I think that's been a bright spot so far, along with our ability to keep pace offensively. But really good signs early on from the guys. It's good to see.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I'm looking here. Yeah, it's looking pretty solid. Oberlin forcing a lot of contested shots, but don't have any blocks. Wabash have 3 blocks, and this is their problem. Sometimes they fall in love with this a little bit. Demi and Georgie now back-to-back possessions have taken threes. Listen, I mean, they're the best. They're the top 2 scorers. They're also 2 of the better shooters on the team. I'm not against it. I just feel like if you're going to pull out your 6'9" and your 6'9" players, and John is talking about these great rebounding opportunities they're preventing or they're getting themselves, if you're going to put Georgie on the top of the key and Demi setting a ball screen, you're shooting a shot, you're not getting the rebound. So I'm not sure how I feel about it, because those guys aren't in the paint. They're not going and getting the ball. So
especially early in the shot clock, you don't want to settle for these long range jumpers where there's little opportunity to get second chance points. But
yeah,
a lot of our offense, as you said, Jack, is bringing out these ball screens and trying to get shooters open on the perimeter. So we'll see if that's able to pay off. You see Yuki pulling up a second ago. Often he is reluctant to do that, but I loving the confidence early on. So we'll see if any adjustments come if we can't get a little bit hotter from outside.
they're going to have to.
I see both of these squads are spouting a interesting non-conference record, but they were 0-0 in the NCAC, which means that this is their first NCAC not rivalry, but match, I would say. So with our new coach, Jack, how do you think they're feeling coming into this game?
I mean, they're trying to get their bearing. I think their confidence is growing a lot. I know from conversations with the guys in the team that, they're ready to buy in. They're happy about it. Should be mentioned, switch to a 2-3 zone there from Wabash, a little bit of a different look now defensively. That I think they're getting their bearings. I think Shiva's figuring out, how do I coach this team? What motivation works? When do I call the timeout? When do I sub these guys out? What emotionally is good for him? What is bad? And it's just going to take 8 or 9 games for that to work out. So the fact that they're 3-4 is less than ideal, but those are non-conference. As long as they can go into conference with that confidence, and as long as Demi hits shots like that, like, this team's going to be in really good shape.
And you look at Coach Shiva, somebody who was able to take another roster to an NCAA tournament in his first season. You'd like to think that early on the Yeomen will be able to compete with a really strong team like Wabash. So it's regardless of, obviously you want to win every game, especially in conference, but you like to see us coming out confidently, new coaching staff just coming out and really taking it to a strong opponent. I think a lot of times with a new coaching staff, you can be be a little fearful when you go to an established program, but you love to see the guys coming out, taking tough shots, and really being the aggressors early on in the first half. You got to think that we've caught Wabash off guard a little bit early on. It's you gotta be happy if you're Coach Shiva right now with how the guys have come out early here in the first half. It's great stuff.
This is a high scoring game, is it not?
Oh yeah.
It very well could be. Yeah, they're both probably going to hit about. Oberlin keeps this up, they'll be close to 50 by halftime, and Wabash will be close behind him. This timeout is big here. 4 minutes left. Timeout. This next 4 minutes, one of these 2 teams, I'm calling it, is going to go on a run. I don't know who. One of the 2 is going to do it, and whichever team goes on that run is going to win the game. This is what's going to decide the game right here, is these 4 minutes. You go into halftime. If Oberlin goes into halftime taking their lead from whatever it is, 6 or 7, if they take it to 12 or 13, I've got faith that they're going to be able to hold out Wabash. But if Wabash take this run here and they're down 6 or 7 and they go tie or maybe even up 1 or 2 into the halftime, I think they're such a strong unit that they're going to win this game. So this is these next 4 minutes decide the game here for the Yeomen.
It's really how you come out of these timeouts sometimes, Jack. It's a great point. You know, you only have so many opportunities when there are big runs like this to reset. And you know, as you said, it'll be great to see how, especially as we're seeing how a new coaching staff, a new regime works out for the Yeomen. It's really cool to see how we make these small adjustments.
Yeah,
we're going to take a moment to accept one of our fellow colleagues to give us a brief message.
Not the best shot there. Would have really liked a better shot out of that.
Being introduced to the call now, it looks like Zoe Kuzbari will be in here. Can you hear us, Zoe?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Welcome.
Hi, Zoe.
Hey, John.
Zoe, can you give us your name again, full name? Oh, Yuki, your year. Do you play for a sports team? Give us those 3.
Sure. My name's Zoe Kuzbari, she, her pronouns. I'm a 4th year captain on the volleyball team.
Where are you from?
I'm from New York. I was a defensive specialist for Oberlin volleyball.
That's fun to hear. I mean, I know we showed up to a lot of games. It was fun to watch you guys.
Yeah. So do both the basketball teams.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that? It seems that every time I go to a volleyball game, there's basketball players. It seems like every time I go to a basketball game, there's volleyball players. Why is that? Are you guys required to? Is it necessary? Is it sort of a marriage with sharing the gym? What's up with that?
I think being the 3 indoor sports that happen in Phillips Gymnasium, we have a shared love for watching each other succeed. So, our team tries to get out to majority of the basketball games, and the basketball teams try and come to most of ours. Some of them are our best fans. Georgie, we always say, is our number 1 fan, our biggest supporter in the crowd most of the time. He likes to get dressed up.
Yeah, he always seems to be showing up dressed up crazy, pounding the bleachers. Oh, yeah. Yuki, almost a crazy layup. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a shared love of sports from Oberlin athletics. The baseball team shows up to a lot. They seem to show up. They've been showing up more recently to volleyball games, which has been good to see. You mentioned a little bit to us before about a program that SAC is running. Can you explain what SAC is really quickly, and then what the program is they're putting on?
Oh, sure. SAC is the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. I'm currently the women's co-chair for that organization. Next Tuesday and Wednesday for the women's and men's home games.
Hey! Sorry.
Whoa. No, that was sick.
It was a dunk. We had to do it.
We're going to have our Holiday Hoops pledge game. So at each game, fans can pick a pledge that they want to be a part of and donate some funds. And at the end, we're going to send all those to St. Jude's Hospital in Denver. We'll also have a letter writing table as well, so we can send some notes to the kids too around the holiday time. So we're excited.
That sounds really exciting. Is it possible for me, if I'm not on campus, to donate or at all engage in this, or do I need to be on campus to partake?
Yeah, totally. The link is goyo.com/holidayhoops. Anyone can donate. Anyone can pledge and sign up, and we'll follow up with you after the game about how much your total is. And you can send money through PayPal or Venmo. We take both. And if you're in person, we'll also take cash too.
Cash is king. That's awesome. How do you decide, like, how does SAC decide what to do and when to do it?
A lot of the stuff that we do, a lot of the events that we have are annual events. They happen pretty much every year. This year, Holiday Hoops is a little bit different. We wanted to do something, to help kids out that might not necessarily be in Oberlin. We always have Holiday Hoops for the sports teams where we'll buy a gift and we'll donate that to a family in the local Oberlin community. But we wanted to reach a broader audience this year. So we thought, why don't we just help spread some holiday magic to some kids who might really need it. So St. Jude's was a good organization for us to look at this year.
That's great. I think that's really awesome. You got any thoughts on the game so far? John, Max, you guys got anything for Zoe?
Well, I think that's just a fantastic organization, and I'm always happy to support SAC. Zoe, it sounds like you've been working hard with SAC. Is that true?
Yeah. All of the officers, we work really hard to make sure everything.
Well, that's great. Hopefully the Oberlin basketball team can be working just as hard as you guys behind the curtain. And it looks like we're closing down the last few seconds of the first half. And I've been very excited to watch Oberlin so far. Georgie really threw that one down. First
2 hands.
The Yeo Cast.
With some authority, wanted to make no doubt about it. Really, I think if he wanted to, he could have put his elbow all the way in. But, this point, you got to make sure it goes down. Zoe, can you dunk?
I cannot. I might need a step stool, and then I'd be able to get up there.
How many steps of a step stool? 1, 2?
Multiple.
Okay. We won't ask a specific number. Maybe we'll send out a poll to the viewers after the game and they can guess. But all right, I think that's all we've got for you. Thank you for coming on. And
thank you, Zoe.
Can you give us the link again?
goyo.com/holidayhoops.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Zoe.
Guys, bye.
So yeah.
Well, to our viewers, still opportunity to ask any questions. Always accepting them. We'll be reading anything that comes in and interacting with the fans. This is another good half. At halftime, we'll be bringing on another guest. Hope that he can bring some more insight to this game. He's been sitting courtside, apparently, to a different Oberlin team.
John, what did you think about that dunk?
That was really awesome, guys. I mean, we brought Zoe right on there to give us a great message, and then suddenly I'm just seeing Georgie running down the field with no one in sight, looking like Derrick Henry on a 40-yard touchdown right there. That was awesome, just barreling down the lane.
It was great.
He
got the steal out of it too. Like it was just all Georgie all day.
That was really great. Those plays, it's only 2 points, but you got to just think about the Oberlin bench right there. Just the guys going insane. What type of momentum that gives to the guys. And as you said, Jack, like you look at this run, coming out of that timeout, you go in with about a 9-point lead now going into the half. That is just exactly what you want to see, especially when we'd already been on a little bit of run. Coach Shiva bringing us out of a timeout and just continuing it. That's really great stuff. I think this is basically the perfect start, in a first half that you want to see as a team, and we'll see if we can continue it after the halftime talk.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one thing to go up 11-2 on a team in that first couple minutes and then have that lead go away. It's another thing, as you're pointing out, John, to go into halftime on the 25th ranked team up 40-31, having some highlight plays and some really good defensive stops. That's a totally different feeling. That makes you think you can go into halftime saying, we can win this game. This is a real possibility for us. And that feeling is really intangible and it's really dangerous. So they got to carry that. Turnover margin, something I highlighted before the game. Oberlin only had 2 turnovers this half. Wabash have 7. So that's 5 missed opportunities in terms of a margin there that Oberlin are getting extra opportunities, extra buckets. And then we've seen some good stroking from Will, some good shots. We've seen Yuki really have some great picking and popping off the drives. That's not necessarily the strongest part of his game, but I think they're leaving him open, testing him, and he's stepping up to it. So Demi and Georgie aren't the only ones having to go for it. It's great to see.
Always enjoying watching my fellow Oberlin athletes. Also enjoyed having Zoe on. Zoe,
yeah, that was really cool. What a great little program that they have going on in SAC. It's looking like we have about 3 minutes left before we can get our halftime guest on here.
So Jack, can you tell me a bit about your career as a basketball player? I was a wrestler myself, so I didn't really get that opportunity.
Yeah, that's both winter sports, so they conflicted. God, I don't know if we have enough time. I mean, the storied career, it goes on forever. I'm not really sure I could break down every highlight for you. Um, Played travel basketball in elementary school where I made friends for life, carried it through to junior high and high school, organized school basketball, played point guard, um, was not a starter, was sort of the sixth man off the bench. I was a pass first, scrappy defender point guard who had good court vision, but if I scored 8 points a game, that was crazy. So I wasn't really looking to score. I was looking to set other people up. I was looking to play pesky defense. I was sort of like a Patrick Beverly, Jose Alvarado kind of player. Every team
Love
needs
that
one.
comp.
Every team needs one, but I'm not going to be the guy who's going to light up the scoring sheet. But I'd like to think my teammates appreciated my presence.
So for those who are following the World Cup, it looks like Lionel Messi, one of the greatest players to touch the pitch, has scored in the game Argentina versus Australia. And we've since gotten a question in our chat, our first inaugural question from MB. I don't know who that is, but what has been your favorite moment from the World Cup so far? So Jack, John, I'll let you guys take that one away.
Jack, go ahead.
Oh, probably I think Japan. Yeah, I think Japan's comeback into winning their group was just totally unexpected. I've seen stuff online about the Japan fans and the Japan players, how much they're respecting the space. And I think it speaks a lot to their character as people and as a country, but also just like, I think a lot of people came in doubting them as a team and not really thinking they were going to be able to do anything. And to see them have this sort of storied run out of the group stage where there's upsets and there's goals and it's sort of just like this galvanizing of a team with a lot of players who don't break into sort of the top leagues of the Premier League or Serie A or La Liga, and getting to see these guys all have their moment to shine has been really, really cool.
You know, I hate to point out the obvious, but for me, it was definitely the Christian Pulisic goal against Iran. He was down on the pitch for a while afterwards, but just what a fantastic moment for the nation. Captain America getting it done for the lads. That was really, really a great moment. There have been a couple unreal goals. But that one really, really struck a chord with me. Max, what have there been any specific ones for you?
I mean, I've just been enjoying watching the World Cup all around. I think
cop out. You got to give me a specific. That's a cop out answer.
I really enjoyed watching the big clubs get knocked out, the big countries get knocked out, in my opinion. Well, shifting back to basketball, Jack, it looks like you got a comment in the chat saying that you're one of the favorite players in the West Gym, which is part of Oberlin basketball gyms. Jack, could you speak a bit about what the West Gym's like? Is it a gritty monster out there?
I mean, okay, so imagine like Wyoming and Colorado in the 1800s, the Wild West, dust kicking up everywhere. You're riding your horse into town and there's a lone sheriff standing. That's what it's like walking into West Gym. Everybody's got a chip on their shoulder. Everybody's trying to play a game. Everybody knows that they're going to just get absolutely clobbered and they're not going to call the foul. And it's going to be a chippy game and they're probably going to get spit on, elbowed, and, stepped on. But that's pickup basketball in Oberlin, Ohio. If there's not a documentary about it yet, there should be. But I'm definitely a regular in the West Gym. I think that I'd like to hope that if there was a Ring of Honor, I'd make it simply just from pure hours, not necessarily from performance. But yeah, that's where legends are made,
And John, what has been your basketball career? This point?
Max, we've discussed this many times before, but some have called myself and Max the two worst basketball players on the entire Oberlin baseball team. So I wouldn't say it's been a storied career. I'm definitely an effort guy. In when I indulge in some basketball, but neither of us are going to be the ones that are really lighting up the scoreboard. You'd love to get 4 points from either of us, but the hard work on the boards, definitely dishing it off to better teammates. But I always say I'll always play, but I'm not going to offer too much.
Well, with that, we also have been asked a question about the game. I believe it's tomorrow of who will be winning, I guess, Commanders or the Giants.
I'll try to be unbiased here. I think we all know where my allegiances lie. Big Commanders fan over here. Jake Fried, the asker of this question, I'm not all too sure who he's rooting for in this case, but I believe in the defense that the Commanders have had going on in the past couple of weeks. Not a big, as you both know, not a huge believer in Daniel Jones. Honestly, he's probably a bottom 10 quarterback in the NFL. And as we know, that the NFL these days lives and dies by the quarterback. So definitely going to be riding with the Commanders. 6-1 since Taylor Heineke has taken over. But yeah, I'm excited for the game. Major playoff implications here, even among two teams that probably won't make too much noise in the playoffs, but always pulling for my guys. So, a fellow NFC East guy, Max, what are you looking for in that one?
I mean, I would love to see a Commanders victory. I'm all for it. John, it looks like you're coming to us from a very sophisticated study. I envy you. Jack, where are you coming from too?
I'm coming from my desk in my room. I might not have the books that John has or the blazer, but I'd like to think that my space is just as efficient at getting work done. John, I've been hearing reports that the Commanders are better defensively when Chase Young is in a sweatshirt on the sidelines, just looking intimidating versus actually being on the field and playing. Would you rather have Chase Young suited up and affecting the rotation there at the front line, or would you rather him, in a hoodie, cheering on his teammates, just looking scary?
I mean, it's well documented my admiration for Chase Young. I bought a jersey during his rookie year. I think he's a truly generational talent, but it's been really frustrating seeing each week him being inactive after a week of limited practice. So, the guys have been rallying.
He's not even out there and you're winning. Does it matter?
I know.
Trade him.
Our defense has really done a good job, in the past couple of weeks, stepping up, rallying around kind of our lackluster offense, but really has been stepping up. You'd like to think, though, Jack, that, when we do get Chase back, that he'll really impact it even more. When he was healthy and this D line was fully healthy, we were basically the top pass rush in the entire NFL during that 2020 season. But we'll see. I hope that he can come back and be, in his true form. But the defense is performing great without him. So as we have the luxury of really waiting until he's back to full strength. You got Jonathan Allen playing like a first team All-Pro right now. Got Montez Sweat bringing the speed from the outside, and even like the linebackers in the secondary have played great. Got 2 safeties ranked inside the top 10 according to PFF. It's exciting times. Obviously you want to get the offense going a little bit more, but it's pretty exciting stuff.
PFF
and we
is
hope
the
we get it back soon.
source. PFF is never wrong.
Of course. Except when they rank Mac Jones inside the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, right, Max?
Absolutely.
Is our other guest approaching in any sort of way soon or no?
I think we're going to take just a brief second to reset the stream. If you don't go away here. We'll just take just a short minute and we'll reset this, and then we'll be talking to Vince Dulcimascio in just a brief moment.